How's it going? Firstly, I'd just like to apologise for not providing an update sooner. The truth is that these videos take a long time to make and I was just avoiding it. But I did promise to provide frequent updates, so apologies again. Luckily, I took photos almost every day over the first 3 months. I'll show you the important ones now and provide a recap of basically day 1 to month 3 of my hair transplant journey. So getting straight into it, these first few photos are from day 2 post-op. This was also the day I got home from Istanbul and the day I did the first wash of the implanted area myself. FUECAPILAR do the first one for you in the clinic, and then you have to do one every day up until day 10. So basically for the washing, what I had to do was apply this foam to the implanted area and leave it for 1 hour. FUECAPILAR give you this foam, so there's no need to no worries about sourcing it or anything like that. What I will say about this foam is it makes your head extremely itchy and you just have to leave it on your head and not touch it. The 1 hour kind of feels like a lifetime. It is really irritating, but after kind of the third wash you get used to it. It's not as bad. FUECAPILAR go through in detail like how to wash your head, the implanted area and the donor area, so I won't waste time explaining that whole process. If you want me to go through this, just drop me a comment below and I can message you all the details about the washing process, but for now I'll just leave it at that. One thing that was different in my situation was after the 10th wash I still had scabbing. So I contacted FUECAPILAR. They have a note at the bottom of the PDF that they provide that says if you have scabbing after day 10, contact us. So I contacted FUECAPILAR and they said that it's called persistent scabbing, and what I had to do was just do a couple of further washes. So I had to apply that foam again, leave it for 2 hours, and I had to wrap my head in clean film. Again, FUECAPILAR provide loads of information on this. They sent me a video and a big document on how to carry this out. So I did that for the 11th and 12th day, and by day 13 all the scabs were gone. So after the 2 week mark, my head wasn't as itchy anymore, all the scabs had gone. I had a slight bit of irritation in the donor area, particularly at the bottom part. I think it was actually the colour of some of the t-shirts I was wearing or the jumpers I was wearing was rubbing off the base of the donor area, and it just created a bit of redness and itchiness. I was quite irritated for a while. FUECAPILAR do provide several creams for kind of scenarios like if you suffer with loads of spots or if you suffer with irritated and itchiness. So I just contacted them on WhatsApp and they advised me to apply one of the creams that they gave me for free, and so I applied that, and within a week the itchiness and redness was gone. And yeah, from like week 3 to week 6 I was really happy with how my hair looked. Because the scabs were gone, you could start to see the implanted grafts come through, and it basically looked like I just had a buzz cut on the top. The donor area was still healing, so it was quite patchy in some areas. I was a little concerned about that, but they did say it would take a couple of months for the donor area to heal. I think they said it can take up to 4 months. The shedding process started at about week 6. The most annoying part of the shedding process is just how shit your hair looks. My natural hair started regrowing and it kind of accentuated the shedding areas. So yeah, it just looked really bad, and you obviously can't get a haircut at this point, so there's nothing you can do about it. You kind of just have to put up with it. At this moment in time, I was actually more focused on my donor area. Again, this was quite unique to my situation. I'm sure it happens to loads of people, but it's not the common thing. I had shock hair loss from my procedure. So behind my left ear in the donor area, I had this bald patch. Now, as I said, the donor area was quite patchy overall, but there was this significant bald patch behind my left ear that I was really concerned about. I contacted FUECAPILAR. They said it was shock hair loss, but I wasn't so sure. Because my procedure was over 2 days, I had one technician on day 1 extract grafts from the right side of the donor area, and then the next day I had another technician extracting the from the donor area behind my left ear. So basically 2 different technicians on 2 different days took from either side of the donor area. So I was afraid that one over harvested
and one was more experienced than the other because it was significantly more patchy on one side of my donor area. And I'd say from week 6 to week 12, my donor area filled up really nicely, except for this one patch. So I was really worried at this point. I contacted FUECAPILAR again on WhatsApp, and they responded with just a bit of advice on applying minoxidil to that area. And now I'm using minoxidil anyways, but I was only using it on the implanted area. So I used it on the donor area for a while, and it seemed to do the trick. The patch now is almost completely gone. I think if I didn't point it out to somebody, they wouldn't notice it. Because I'm aware of it, I can still see it, but it's improved significantly. With regard to the implanted area, I started seeing some new growth post shedding at about month 3, particularly at the hairline. I haven't seen much growth at the crown. You can notice that the kind of bald patch at my crown is smaller in size overall, but it still looks very thin. Whereas at the front of my head, you can see it filling up nicely, still very thin, but the whole area is kind of covered in thin hair, where the crown, I feel, is not completely covered. So up to month 3, so far so good. I'm pretty happy with the particularly the hairline area. Bit concerned about the crown, but over the next 9 months, hopefully those areas thicken up. So yeah, that's about it for day 1 to kind of month 3. What I'll do in the next video, and I promise it will be a lot sooner, I'll provide a month 4 update. So I'm at the 4-month mark now, and you will be able to see huge difference in the front hairline area. Basically that's just thickened up quite nicely now. Okay, so that's it for this update. If you have any questions, just drop me a comment below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And again, sorry for the delay on this update.